But today we are actually sat at Bidvest McCarthy Nissen, Ramburg, with the man Chris Thompson, talking about a number of things that have come up in recent weeks. There's been a lot of topics that have just popped up. One being heavyweight division, another being potentially MMA. What would you choose out of those two if you had been put on the spot?
No, obviously, definitely I want to stick to my sport, and the heavyweight division has been something that I've been looking at for a while. Obviously, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4". Currently, I'm 108 kilos. It was always quite a mission to make the 90 kilogram weight. I'm also a lean guy, so after like 94 kilos, it's a struggle to come down. Those last 4 kilos, it's actually a bit unhealthy. So the heavyweight division. That's the money division. There's and also that's the baddest man on the planet. If you're the heavyweight champ, you're the baddest man on the planet. And to be honest, I'm not very satisfied with the South African heavyweight champion at the moment. I know I can beat him, so that's something that I want to do. In terms of the MMA crossover, times are changing, and we've got to be hybrid athletes. And if the right contract came about, I would phone Boyd very quickly and ask him to teach me takedown defense, and I would take part in this new crazy combat sport that's happening.
Well, okay, before I even get to the boxing, because I actually think the MMA topic's pretty interesting. We saw Elvis Moya stepping in there, and he did a very decent job. In fact, I think he's even a better mixed martial artist than maybe a boxer at times. Do you think it could go like that for you?
Like I said, you never know. I would do it for the fun of it, to be honest. My heart is with boxing. But fighting is fighting, and violence is violence, and professional violence is professional violence. And if I got the right offer to do MMA, I would definitely do it. And like I said, I'll just have to learn very quickly on takedown defense, because I've done a couple of BJJ sessions with Boyd, but I'm honest with myself to say that I don't really know what's going on the ground. But a lot of MMA fighting is stand-up, bro. If you look at a lot of the international fights, it's mainly about stand-up and distance control and things like that. And I'm not close to the opportunity, and if the right opportunity came knocking on the door, let's go.
Well, I mean, you've transitioned from rugby to boxing. You've learned really quickly. Do you think MMA would be a difficult one to learn as well, considering all the disciplines?
Yeah, look, bro, I've got my respect for MMA. Trust me, that's not an easy game, and obviously because I've tried to get myself involved in it, I respect it hugely. That's a very difficult martial art, and I can definitely transition, but will it be difficult? Yes, it definitely will be very, very difficult. It's a difficult sport, and I respect MMA athletes a lot and what they do. But could I transition? Yeah, definitely I could transition. I'm an athlete. And that doesn't really have a shape, My shape of being an athlete has changed a couple of times, whether it's a swimmer, a rugby player, a boxer, it's changed. And if the opportunity presented itself and I had to learn mixed martial arts, I would do so, and I would do it timely, and I would give it my best. I'm the kind of guy that gives it all, so I would give it my all, and we could have some fun.
I mean, obviously the rumor mill is swirling now, so that's why we're asking you. And the other thing is, you sent a message to Graham Cartmell to say, send contracts. Were you serious, or were you just trying to cause a bit of a rift in the?
Yeah. So basically, what happened was Boyd went on a podcast, and he got asked which boxers does he think would transition great into boxing, and they got onto a topic, and they started talking quite a bit about me and how they would like to see me transition. And then I just said, well, talk is cheap, bro. I'm not afraid of transitioning. We can do it. Send a contract if you want me to transition. Don't just talk about it. Let's fucking get something into being, And so I responded and said, send the contract and we can do it. It is just obviously a rumor. It was just Boyd saying that he thinks I can transition into MMA pretty well, and I'm not going to say I'm going to be the next MMA superstar, because I'm not. And like I said, my heart is with boxing. But to do it for fun, I would definitely do it for fun. Definitely.
Well, Boyd mentioned you on the podcast, so let's mention Boyd here on the boxing channel.
Yes.
He's going back to MMA for now. He says he wants to do both. He wants to be a hybrid athlete.
Yeah.
How do you anticipate his return back into the EFC after a while?
Look, to be honest, Boyd is a fighting man in all aspects, I think he's going to do great in the MMA again. You know, he's been doing it the whole time while he's been boxing. What a lot of people don't know is for Boyd's first 4-5 fights, he was actually doing MMA training and beating guys in the boxing ring. So, you know, Boyd is a great athlete, and he has the ability to transition. I genuinely believe Boyd has the athletic and the IQ knowledge to fight in May in MMA and in June in boxing, because he knows both sports. He's been around the game for a very long time. He's been both around MMA for a very long time, and he's actually been around boxing for a very long time. So I think he's going to do great going back into MMA. I don't think people realize how dangerous he really is, and I think if he decided to go straight back into boxing, he could do the same and win on any stage.
So what people might not know is that you might not have ever trained with Boyd Allen as a boxer, but you guys do strength and conditioning with the same trainer. So does Kevin Arena, and so does Rourke Knapp, and a couple other guys as well that are high profile. Is that how you guys started your relationship, or was it before then?
Yeah, that is actually exactly where me and Boyd met. We met at Performance Purist, and we never really used to train together. I had another training partner that I wasn't really happy with, to be honest with you. He just kept distracting me while I was trying to train. And I said to Josh, no, I need to train with somebody else, please. I hold a level to my training. Please, will you give me somebody that holds that same level of training? And he put me with Boyd, and we just clicked, and we trained extremely hard together, and we just became good friends. And then, we just carried on, and that's how kind of I think the MMA thing came about. Is I started hanging around with Boyd and at Apex a bit more, and I did a couple of MMA classes and a couple of BJJ classes. But that is exactly where me and Boyd met.
So 100% if you went into mixed martial arts, it would be there at Apex, Fight Fit maybe?
100%. Yeah, look, if I went into MMA, there would only be one guy that I would call with this team, and it would be Boyd, because he's my boy. And, you know, if you're going to go to a fight, you may as well go to a fight with guys that back you. And that's the relationship that we have.
So Chris, I mean, it's been a while since you've been in the ring, but now that you're entering the heavyweight division, there are a couple of names below Tian Fick, who is the current champion, who obviously you want to fight, but the 3-fight rule has been scrapped. So it kind of opens up for an opportunity. You're a high-profile cruiserweight previously, and now you're moving up to heavyweight. But are there a couple of guys that you want to fight just to test the waters at heavyweight first?
Look, the heavyweight division is actually surprisingly quite exciting at the moment in our country. We have quite a couple of guys that have come into the division, couple of guys that are coming up through the rankings, and it's quite an interesting mix. There's that Wilhelm, he's a really big guy, and it would kind of just be nice, like a Foreman Ali situation, to fight such a big guy. So that's an interesting fight. You know, he's very raw. He doesn't know much about boxing, so it would be a very interesting fight, to be honest. I don't know what his height is. He's like 130 kilos, but his boxing IQ is not so great. So that would be a fight I'd love to entertain. Then one that's on the cards at the moment is, I fought him before, Josh Pretorius. He's now currently the number 2 ranked heavyweight. He actually just lost to Tian, I think for the second time.
Yeah, second time. Great.
So that's a fight that is on the cards at the moment. Jackie Price has actually offered me that fight in Cape Town. So that is something that we're potentially looking at, but obviously they need to send the contracts. And anyone. I know there's another guy in Cape Town, the Rhino,
Jean Roux.
Yeah, Jean Roux. Anyone, bro. We're in the sport of fighting. So anyone that wants to fight, we can fight anytime. We can have a go. That's the sport that we're in. So anyone, anytime, let's go.
Well, that's it. The heavyweight division literally did get excited, and you've entered a division which is speaking. Guys that want to fight. But like Tian Fick, is that where this all leads to?
I wouldn't say that's where it all leads to, but obviously that's the interest. Is he's got the national heavyweight title, which makes him the baddest man in South Africa. He's got the SA heavyweight title, which gives him the right to carry that name as the baddest man in South Africa. And I just want to challenge that and see if he is the baddest man. There's nothing against him. He's just got the belt, and that's exactly how it is. When you have the belt, people want to come after you. So I want to come after him because you got the belt. That's the only reason.
He said in an interview that obviously the 3-fight rule was in place at that point, and I said, Chris Thompson's thinking about entering the heavyweight division, would you entertain the fight? and he said, well, he's got to get past the 3-fight rule, but he wants to make the fight one day. Were you convinced by that?
Yeah, look, as long as he... I obviously understand, and I know that he's got business to take care of in the Ukraine, and I wish him well, and I really hope that he succeeds on that international stage, because it's not just good for him, it's good for boxing in general. And I wish him well, and I wish him and Matt Leishing well. I hope they do great in the Ukraine. But when they come back, bro, let's get going, bro. Let's get to business, and let's see who's the baddest man in South Africa. And it's not Tian Fick.
Do you think you'll have to force, in order for this fight to happen, despite the results in the Ukraine, do you think you'll have to force a mandatory position to begin the ring with him?
Nah, I think he's a fighting man. I know he's a fighting man. I think he'll take the fight. And I think Matt Leishing will too. They want to test themselves. They haven't really had a tough road. They haven't really fought a tough fight yet, so it will be interesting to see how he comes over in the Ukraine that's a big challenge that he's got ahead of him. Hopefully he succeeds and he stops that guy or gets the result, and then when he gets back, I don't think it will be a tough thing to get me and Tian in the ring. I think he's a game guy, and he's 9-0, so he's never lost. So I think he's pretty confident, and he knows his ability.
Do you not think that, win a fight in the Ukraine, there might be like options and fights that down the line for him to maybe consider, like, obviously big money fights?
Yeah, look, if I was in his position, of course, bro. Like, we're in this it's professional boxing. We're in this for the business side of things. So, hopefully he does do well. And honestly, I hope he does well, and I hope he gets big offers in the Ukraine. I hope he gets massive offers for good money, and that'll be amazing for him. And if that does happen and he moves on to fighting onto the international stage, then he'll vacate it, and I'll fight whoever's there. Whoever's there in that situation, will fight them.
What's the immediate goals for this year? At least you're going to potentially get one fight out the way very soon, but I mean, after that, what do you want to do?
Look, obviously I'm at the stage of my career where I want to win belts, and I want to win credibility, and I want to win good fights. That's where I am in my career at the moment. I just want to have good championship fights, and I would like to win a couple of belts, win the national title, and move on to the international stage. It's been quite a long time coming, and I'm ready for it. So that's my goal for the year.
Any chance you move back to cruiserweight again one day?
Yeah, look, with the right amount of notice, yes. Like I said, I'm 108 kilos. I'm not carrying any excess, so I would have to do it in a healthy way, and it would have to be for a decent offer. I'm not opposed to the cruiserweight division. I have actually been given an offer to fight for the IBF Africa cruiserweight belt, but it's got to be with the right amount of notice for me to get down to that division. As I said earlier, those last 5 kilos are a struggle, and you've got to do it in a healthy way. Otherwise, you can risk brain hemorrhage. You can't drop too much water in boxing, because if you get hit on the brain too many times, it's dangerous, organs, it's dangerous. And I walk around in the heavyweight division, so that's where I want to be campaigning.
Do you anticipate the fact that you won't have to cut down, you'll have a bit more power?
Definitely, power, geez, of course. I can feel it, even from a nutrition standpoint. When I knew I was fighting cruiserweight division, I was not really eating much carbs, so I could keep my weight down low. I was pretty much following a keto diet, so I wasn't having much carbs, and my energy systems were high. But now that I'm able to eat the correct foods, obviously my energy system is completely different, and my power, with an extra, call it 10 to 12 kilos, it gives me that extra power. But in the heavyweight division, everyone's got power, but there's more to boxing than just power.
And with your body and stuff, what is the most ideal, kilogram for you?
I think currently where I'm at, like between 108 and 112 kilos. Any heavier than that, I'll lose my athleticism ability, And right now, I can move around the ring. I can really crack 108, 112 kilos. I don't need to be bigger than that.
Well, I feel like you'll be at like a mid-range heavyweight then, like in the middle, because you got like the Joshuas and stuff with like 120 plus, and then you got like the Mike Tysons were like in the 90s.
Yeah, 100%. Like with Joshua and them, obviously they have a bit of a taller frame to carry that weight with. Some of the guys carry like Lewis Ortiz and them. They're carrying a bit of body weight, and that's not what I believe I want to be carrying, and it works for them, and that's great for them. But obviously Joshua has quite a decent frame, but he's also whole 2.5 foot taller than me, 2.5 inches rather. So that's why they carry that extra weight, and my ideal weight is like 108, 112 kilos. So I will be a mid-range in terms of weight. I'll be a mid-range heavyweight fighter, but that's okay. I'll be a very fast one.
All right, I think I'm going to leave it there, Chris, unless there's anything else you want to say.
No, look, obviously I just want to thank everybody that supports me and that gets behind me. All my sponsors, Bidvis, McCarthy Ramberg, thank you very much. Global Air Brakes, thank you very much. GW Aluminium, thank you very much. You know, everybody that backs me, We Sell Subs, you guys look after my nutrition, thank you. And just all the fans that have been waiting to see me get back in action, we appreciate you guys, and I'll see you soon.